All right, I woke up this morning and yesterday, probably the healthiest I've been in a long time. It seems that my battle with the big C forced me to sit in bed, and a health issue I had for a long time seems to have subsided in my time of convalescence in the bed. So it worked out for the best. I am feeling so energetic and so excited for this season. So my goal is to bring you better coverage than I did last year, to improve on what I did wrong last year and to improve on what I did right, to give you guys, whatever team I am covering, the best coverage I can give you. But for my Fins, this is a huge game coming up. I know everybody's telling you the Pats are dead. They're dead. There's going to be a cakewalk. We're putting 92 points on, and it's all over. I hope that's true. But from everything I'm looking at and studying says this is going to be a tough game, and the season is going to be a dogfight to get where we want to go. And I'm saying this because so many people, and that's their opinion, that's their evaluation, that we are going to run away with it. But the problem is, if we come out slow, there's going to be a major drag on the expectations that many fans have. And I think this could diminish a very good season. Because if you understand this team has a lot of stuff coming together, and there's some things early on that are going to hold it back, and this AFC is very tough. If you understand that this is going to be a battle all the way through, you're going to appreciate the season and you're not going to tear your hair out of your head, because the Dolphins do have a chance to make the playoffs, but they're going to battle. And if you understand that, you can get past these first 4 games where we might win only 2 out of 2 or 1 out of 4. But that's okay, because the Dolphins can still rise. Now, this Patriots game I'm going to cover today, prepping for the Patriots. I'm going to go over some stuff with the Dolphins. I'm going to go over why I think the Patriots aren't dead. And it's going to help you cue in and clue in on certain things when this game comes around that you can be prepped for and to have a little bit more fun. Because if you see the Dolphins overcoming some of this stuff, you know the Dolphins are going to do well. But if you don't see them doing well in these certain areas, then you know this is going to be a dogfight. Anyway, going to do my chapter thing today. I'm going to cover, somebody had talked about, I forgot to write the name down. I always forget to do this. Somebody had a really good idea about, well, we don't have a big back. So we bring the fullback in, and that kind of will compensate for it. But there's a little bit of give and take with that. And so I'm going to cover that, the fullback lead, the Patriots, why I don't think they're dead, and certain matchups that we need to keep our eyes on, and maybe put in consideration if you think the Dolphins are going to roast the Patriots. All right, so those are going to be the 3 points that I'm going to cover in today's podcast, and you could do the chapter thing and click through it and get through it and do the whole thing. Before I do that, I want to say thank you for stopping by, especially for all the well wishes that I had when I had my real deep sickness a couple months ago, and then even with this, you guys are so nice. I mean, really, I get people saying, get well. That goes a long way for me. I'm a loyalty guy. I'm a person guy. And it means a ton. So I'm very grateful for that. So I want to thank you guys all for the well wishes and just the great personalities that I see all the time on the comments, for the likes, the subscribes, and the views. And I also want to give a shout out to Ace Per Head, my sponsor, because without them and without you, this show isn't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. FB fullback lead, bringing that fullback in the backfield, is definitely going to help Miami in these critical short yard situations, especially when it gets muddy or windy or whatever. Fullback I love the fullback position, and I'm happy to see it have some kind of resurgence. And I do believe the running game itself is rising, and it's kind of pulling the fullback in. I believe there's 4 fullbacks in the AFC East, which is great, and it does help. But you also have to understand, when that fullback comes in, this is not a high-end athlete, for the most part. And if he's going to be the lead blocker and he's coming in, you don't really worry about him as being a threat to hit the perimeter or to go deep on a pass play. And so the defense will tighten up. Now, from a schematic standpoint from the Dolphins, Eichenberg struggles with power. Jackson struggles with power. Tehran's fine. And then you have Connor and Hunt. They're the strong point on this offensive line, where if you had a short yard situation and you want to hit that hole and find a place where there's going to be a crease and space, barring all kind of movements and stuff like that. But really in short yard situations, a lot of movement can really do well for you. It could be a disaster. So there's going to be some time during the course of the season where you're just going to have to power it out. And so behind Hunt and Eichenberg is going to be that spot. But the defense is going to know that. They're going to know that Eichenberg struggles with power, and they're going to know Jackson struggles with power. And so they're going to bring their best guy to pinch in between on that center and guard and clog that up. And then Eichenberg's going to probably have to get help from Tehran. And then we're going to have a tight end that's going to have to help for where Tehran's going to have to pull from. And we don't have a great blocking tight end. And Jackson himself struggles with power as well. And this is going to cause a pinching, because you're going to have the defensive line attacking, and you're going to know that you're going to get a double to help Eichenberg out. You're likely going to get a double inside with Hunt and Connor. And you're going to get some interior pressure with Jackson unless you help him as well. And these linebackers, because you have a fullback back there, they're going to be drawing up. Now, the good news for Miami, and this is a positive in this look. It's a negative in the sense that we don't have the offensive line to blow guys off, and it's going to cause us to have to double and let our tight ends have to do that extra blocking, which is not great. But, and this is the beauty of this team this season, the intrigue, really. You're going to have Waddle and you're going to have Hill. And teams are not going to be able to come in as much as, say, if we didn't have this deep threat ability. And so there's going to be a little space. Fullback is going to have to find his way, and he's going to help a little bit, but it's still going to come down to the running back having to power his way when you get into that 2 to 3 yard mark. Now, I don't really concern myself at all for like really 1 yard short and all that. And a lot of these 2 and 3 yard plays, we're going to do something that's going to be a pass play, but it's still going to come down at some point to a critical run for 2 to 3 yards. And this is my concern, that we just don't have a guy behind that fullback or Eichenberg and Jackson, your left guard and right tackle, that can stand by themselves without help. And that's going to put all this extra pressure on the tight ends and still force that running back to make that broken tackle for a critical first. We'll see how it plays out. But there is some positive to that fullback being back there, and especially with the perimeter speed that we have. But still, because of the offensive line and the lack of size at running back, it's a yin and yang, give and take, if you see what I'm saying. So now I'll get to the Patriots. Patriots and the Dolphins are very, very similar, guys, in a lot of ways, the way they unveiled what they're doing. McDaniel has really shown nothing. He has run vanilla. He has done nothing. We haven't even seen Waddle and Hill on the field together. So there is so much mystery and unknown around what McDaniel is going to do. But in the same token, you have to understand this ugly look by the Patriots is sort of by design. Now, last year, they had a very complicated verbiage. A lot of times they would get into the huddle late, and Mac Jones wasn't able to make the calls at the line of scrimmage to use his really one great asset, which is his understanding, his prep to move things around. Because this verbiage was very complex and they would get into the line late. They have trimmed the verbiage down heavy duty, and they expect Mac to do a lot of movement at the line of scrimmage as far as adjustments, sight adjustments, audibles, the whole deal. And we haven't seen that. They have run very vanilla, and I still believe that although they're going to be running a wide zone in their run game, they're still going to do inside zone, and I wonder if they're going to add in man blocking. And this is going to make things a little bit more complicated, a little bit more difficult for defenses to stop, especially the Dolphins, because they're not going to really understand what this offense is going to look like. Same token, Patriots don't know what our offense is going to look like. So both teams are somewhat enigmatic, but the Patriots a little bit more so, because if Mac is as good as advertised as far as the cerebral side, his prep side, it's going to give them a little bit of advantage, a little bit extra, because I don't know if Tua is going to be doing as much, because he doesn't really need to, because all the talent's there, and Tua himself has his movement skills, and so I don't think it's going to rely that much on it. So that's going to be that. And then part of the other change that's going on is they've moved some of their players around. Now, you're going to see Wynn over at right tackle, who's staying at right guard, and they're moving Brown over to the left tackle spot. So they're going to have a very big guy on the left side, and they're going to have a more agile player on the right side for a pass protection. So, and then you got Cole Strange, who's an unknown commodity. So it's going to be a new look in many different ways for this offensive line. I do like our matchup on the interior, but I am still concerned about the linebackers being able to attack, stack, and shed when these blockers get to the second level. And I'm interested to see how this little movement of tackles flipping them is going to alter the way this offensive line looks. Because Andrews is still an excellent center. And Cole Strange, at times, he does seem like he's been physically overmatched, but I think this guy's a quality player. And so this is going to be a very interesting change, especially if they're adding 3 different blocking schemes. And we're going to have to stop the run. We stop the run, we're going to win the game. We have to stop the run. And then when Mac does his adjustment things, we're going to have to make those stops. But when you go to look, you're going to see Myers, who he's had a little nicked up, but it does look like he's going to play. Parker, Aguilar, and Bourne. And Bourne has really had a good camp. So these are 4 guys that are quality players. And it's going to stress the depth of the Dolphins secondary, which we all know is a problem. I mean, right now, Needham is playing wide along with Howard. We know Howard's going to do his thing, and I'm not worried about that. So one guy's getting canceled out. Needham is good, but he's a little dinged up. And let's say he cancels out 60 or 70% of the time. Somebody else. You're still going to see a 3 wide or 4 wide, or 2 wide and 2 tight ends, which is still a threat in itself. And you're going to have to get Rowe, who's uncertain whether he's playing. Right now, we don't know. And so you're going to have Crossan, Kahu, or Noah. I still think that Noah's not going to be seen, and we're going to bring in our safeties. But if Rowe's not there, Brandon Jones is a little bit of a liability in the pass coverage. And so it does concern me. If Rowe comes in, I'm going to feel very secure. But if he doesn't, this is not going to be as easy said and done. Because last year when we had Jones and Howard in the first matchup, Mac Jones was able to get plays off, and he was able to be highly efficient in his passing game. Now, McDaniels isn't there anymore, but I don't think it's as – I think there is a diminishing, but not as bad as it's looking, because I think there's a fog of war been purposely cast on the offense of the Dolphins and the offense of the Patriots. So this is going to be really, really interesting to me. Now, Pats, they've also decided to do something different. Very rare. They're coming up on Wednesday to practice here, Thursday and Friday. So they're going to get used to the heat. They're coming early. They're really serious about winning this game. They are very, very serious. So this is, if the Dolphins can overcome this game, and even, like I said, they lose the next 3, I'm feeling really good. I mean, I think it says more about the Dolphins team if we lose this week rather than if we win. But if we win, we're really setting the table. Because when you look at the next 4 games for both teams, Pats and Dolphins play each other. And then Pats have to play Pittsburgh, Ravens, and Green Bay. So for me, the best I see them doing is 2-2 if they can beat the Dolphins. Now, Dolphins play, obviously, the Pats, Ravens, Bills, and Cincy. And to me, I don't know if the Dolphins can win those next 3 games. Ravens have been historically good against us. We had a win last year. I think people are writing them off now. I don't think it's going to be that way. We're going there. Bills at home still, come on, man. Bills are tough. And then Cincy on a short week, I think we're going to them. I should have wrote down. Brain's not as good. But still, that's going to be a tough game. So if we can beat them, and you figure maybe the Pats can beat the Pittsburgh Steelers if they lose to us, both these teams will have 1 victory, but we'll have the edge with the win. And that's going to be a big deal going through the rest of the season. Because to me, the Dolphins, that second place in the division, is the most realistic point for us to get to. Now, if you look, I'm not really big on the odds and all this stuff like that. I really don't even know what half this stuff means. But the Dolphins are getting 2,000 plus 2,000 to win the AFC. And the Patriots are 2,200. So the odds makers are saying these teams are kind of close. Dolphins got the edge. And I like the Dolphins winning week 1 in a close one. I think we're going to put plenty of yards on, but capitalizing for those touchdowns, being able to run the football and stop their run, and a critical 3rd down pass stop is really where the game's going to wrap up for me. So I'm going to dig in a little bit deeper. I'm going to start doing the matchups because to me, their defense is sort of a weakness when you look at it. And that matchup to our offensive line is going to be the critical thing. Secondary is their receivers versus our depth at corner. So I'm going to dig into that next. I'm going to add some film from preseason, from our offensive line to show you the weaknesses and kind of get you prepped to see how they're going to attack us. Because there's very specific ways to attack us on this offensive line. And if we can be consistent enough to resist these attacks, it's going to open the doors for us for a couple big plays, and I think that will bring this separation point. But if we can't, it's going to be a dogfight, and I don't want to be in a dogfight week 1 with Bill Belichick and the Patriots. So, anyway, thanks for staying to the end. This is Curtis saying, catch you next time. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And again, thank you for everything, all the well wishes. I'm feeling great, guys. I mean, so good, so good. Anyway, get ready for a huge week 1. Curtis saying, see you soon. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.